Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another beer review. Tonight we're going to be trying a lager. Good Lord, Jack, what are you thinking of? Bear, what are you thinking? Fear not, young citizens, for it is a Mikkeller beer, and it is the Draft Bear. Draft Bear, do you get it? Because I'm Bear, and it's Bear Beer Reviews. Draft Bear. It is an Imperial Pilsner. So it is Mikkeller's take on a lager. I mean, I hope it's going to be a hell of a lot better than the standard fare you get in your tin cans on the shelf. The ingredients on the back is water, malt. They've got Pilsner, Cara Pilsner, and amber malt. They have Amarillo and Cascade hops, and obviously they're using lager yeast. Lager yeast ferments at a much lower temperature, about 10 degrees Celsius. And that produces a completely different type of carbonation in the beer, a lot more fizzy, you could say. So if you think of all those lagers that you have and how much bubbles they can have within them, depends on which one you're having, that's where it comes from. And also it gives it a much cleaner and lighter mouthfeel as well than your traditional ales. The lagers are usually very light on the mouth. So without further ado, let's crack this old fella open. I didn't mention, actually, I should have done, sorry, it is 8%. That is why this is an Imperial Pilsner. This is your malt liquor-y, high strength barley wine canned stuff that you get in, really cheap stuff that you can get in supermarkets, you know, your Tennants and stuff like that. This is an Imperial Pilsner. Oh, I've got all the foam coming off the top. And tiddlywinks, pops the cap off it, lands in my glass. Look at that, that's cool. That's a sign that this is going to be a good beer. Cool, I'm going to pour it into a nice nifty glass, see if we can't get a little bit of head coming off this. There we go. Oh man, look at that. Look at how much carbonation there is. Look at the fizzing going on in that. And loads and loads of fast rising bubbles. Can you see how they're sprinting to the top? It's not the usual kind of lazy kind of lagging all the way to the top. That is absolutely bubbling away. And even when I pour in, can you see how much carbonation is coming off? You know, that's the telltale sign of your lagers on there. It's quite a deep golden colour. Golden, almost coming to an amber colour, I think. It's fairly clear, but there's still a tiny little bit of haze in it as well. You can probably see it's not totally clear. There's a lovely two-ish fingery head going on as well, which is going to retain all the smell. And if you can see on the top, it's fading quite fast, but I'm sure it'll settle pretty well. It looks like it's going to about settle around this line here, about around a finger head. So let's get our nose in, give a smell and see what we find. Ooh, that's really pleasant. That's actually got a really quite citrusy aroma. It's quite, dip my nose in it again. It's quite tangerine-y. Like when we were trying beer a few days back, had a real tangerine kind of note to it, the Saison, I believe. This has got that same kind of note as well. Orangey, but a much sweeter orangey smell. And kind of a little bit of grape note going on as well. Sort of a little bit of sweet tangerine and a little bit of sourness as well. That kind of makes me think of grapefruity notes as well. I'm also kind of smelling honey, which is very pleasant I must say. But overall it smells very sweet, very fruity. It just smells quite like a glass of tangerine or satsuma juice, really. So without further ado, let's pop it around our tongue and see what we taste. Cheers. Oh, yummy. There's a really nice malty flavour in that. Oh yeah, really fantastic mouthfeel as well. It's quite a chunky mouthfeel, kind of medium body. It's certainly not thick, but it's definitely got a little bit more presence than most lagers. Nice thick mouthfeel. Really nice carbonation on the tongue, really nice bubbling flavour, really nice bubbling feeling, not flavour, kind of cascading over the tongue. That's really nice. It's really creamy as well, really smooth and creamy kind of mouthfeel. Very satisfying on the tongue, And the hop flavours are quite mellow actually, considering the smell. It's certainly coming through though. You are certainly getting More grapefruit than you are tangerine, but still very sweet. In fact, the residual aftertaste is quite a sweet hoppy flavour and a bitterness on the tongue. So it's quite a nice sweet overall body to this, which is very pleasant and makes it extremely drinkable. 8% remember, so you'd expect to have a little bit of a kick or a little bit of warming to the belly, but I could easily sip this as well as I could premium 4% premium 4% lagers. So it's very nice to drink, to be honest. The malty taste right at the beginning is something more akin to, it's not a sweet one, so it's not a biscuity flavour, and it's certainly not chocolatey. It's not going to be chocolate or stouty in that respect. Quite a dry malty flavour. You know, what am I trying to think of? What am I trying to think of? Something not biscuity. Crackers. Something like crackers. That's probably a good word for it. If you eat a good old Jacob's cracker or something like that, that's that kind of malty flavour. That kind of savoury flavour. It's not too sweet, but the hot flavours coming through and the alcohol coming through, I assume, is where you're getting all those sweet flavours from as well. But it's got a fantastic, like I said, it's got fantastic drinkability. The mouthfeel really is an important thing in this beer, because it's got the lager kind of mouthfeel, the kind of bubbly feeling, but also quite creamy as well, like I said. So it's makes for a very interesting experience of having the light feel of a lager on the tongue, with all the frothing and carbonation, with a slightly more heavy body of a higher percentage beer. And there's that kind of pleasant bitterness afterwards as well. That you sometimes just kind of get a wash of malty flavours in lagers, especially in your standard run-of-the-mill ones. This one has a nice bitter flavour, bitter finish that kind of continues and stays around in your mouth, and it's very present and pleasant, I suppose, and sticks around and kind of counterbalances that sweet flavour that will be probably a little bit too sweet for my taste, if I'm honest, if it wasn't there. I really enjoy this. This is a good beer. If I completely detach my mind away and think, right, stop thinking about it as being a lager. I'm not a particularly big fan of lagers. Some of the German ones are alright. I'll do some reviews of them in the future. Hopefully, I'll certainly order some in. But this one stands up to them very well. It's got fantastic flavours to it. Quite well balanced between a hop and malty flavour. The malt comes through very present at the forefront, and the hop comes through further at the end, along with a bit of sweetness and bitterness. And I thoroughly enjoy this beer. It's a really nice one. I could certainly drink it. 8%. The mouthfeel is fantastic and semi-chunky, I guess. Semi-chunky, but still in a almost, I don't know how to describe it. Light because of the carbonation, but thick actual mouthfeel. But the carbonation kind of lifts it all a little bit higher. That's probably the best way I can describe it. So yeah, lovely beer. Go out and check it. Draft Bear. I love it already. The name has nothing to do with the reason why I love this beer. It's purely on taste alone. It's fantastic. So go out, give them a shot. The Mikkeller boys are amazing. I've spoken about them in the past few reviews I've done. Really are fantastic craft and artisanal guys. I think it's just down to the one fella now though, Mikkel, rather than I can't remember where Ella comes in, but Mikkel, I think he's the only one left now. But he still does fantastic beer. So cheers guys. Stick around, like, favourite, subscribe and all of the above, and I shall see you in the next review. Cheers.